Much.
It's 8:52. Now, a deputy head teacher who wrote an article on being open at school about her sexuality says she's been shocked at the response she's received online.
In her piece for The Guardian newspaper, Lindsay Skinner said that being out to staff and to students is an issue that many gay teachers shy away from, but that it needs to be addressed. Well, Lindsay's with us this morning. Good morning.
Hiya, good morning.
What prompted you to do this?
I've been out for 10 years, so it's no big news that I'm out at school, but I was out for a birthday party with some people and there were some gay teachers there, and it was just a dinner, and some parents came in from the school and suddenly they were separated, this couple, and didn't want to touch each other, and I said, what's going on here? And they said, oh, well, we're not out at school, so we don't want people to see, and they were so afraid that they just spent the entire evening separate, and I thought, what a shame that is.
Afraid of what?
And they were afraid of the parents finding out, because then the kids at school would find out. And I think it was important for me to realise that it's not always as easy as I found it. I'm an English teacher. These guys were PE teachers, and they were suddenly really aware that there might be the changing room issue where kids were saying, oh, you can't be in the changing room because you're a lesbian. And I went home and thought, I'm going to write an article about this. I've never written an article before, other than in the classroom, and sent it to The Guardian on the off chance, and then suddenly they'd published it and it had 20,000 shares, and I think the response has made me realise quite how pertinent an issue it is today.
Response on both sides, because you've had a lot of support, but there's also been a lot of criticism. People saying, why does a teacher need to, whatever their sexuality, whatever football team they support, why do you need to tell the kids about it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's been a kind of three prongs of response. One, you're a paedophile. I don't really need to respond to that other than to say that I'm not, and that's a silly response, although I think it does highlight the need for it to be talked about as an issue, because whilst people, that's their response to it, then we still need to talk about this issue. Then there's been people who have been really supportive and who understand why I think it's important. And then there have been people who have questioned whether or not it's professional. And I can absolutely see why people might think that it's not okay to talk about your sex life, but I think that they're confusing talking about your sex life with being open about your sexuality. I mean, needless to say, I don't go into the classroom and say, hi, I'm a lesbian, this is my girlfriend, this is what we do. Like, obviously I don't do that, but I'm not going to lie about it, because that would mean that I'm going to be the person in the restaurant who's afraid to be out for a romantic meal, and that's absurd. And I also think, actually, it's important that we humanise ourselves to the kids, so it's no accident that when you read any kind of charity leaflet, they give you the name of the child rather than a generic, we're making money for these children in this country. And it's because it humanises those kids.
Humanising a teacher, but then a teacher being almost separated or at a distance from a child, because you're not their friends, you're a human being, of course, but you're a teacher. So why should a child need to know about a teacher's private life? Surely, well, in the days I remember, maybe it's changed a lot, I imagine it has. You walk into the classroom, the teacher tells you what to do, you do what the teacher says, you learn, and then you leave. There's not that personal relationship.
I think it probably has changed then, and for the better. I think it's really important that if you are going to spend such a prolonged period of time with somebody, that you have a personal relationship as well. And, it's funny, on the way here in the taxi, I was talking to the taxi driver about it, and he thought the most damaging thing I said to the kids was that I support Manchester United, because he's a Man City fan. But I think it humanises them, teachers, and children are much more likely to behave well if they like you as an individual, without a doubt. And developing relationships is at the very core of what we do. And that aside, actually, I think it's useful for gay kids and for people who have got gay family to see that there are open gay role models, and that that's okay.
Do you worry that at school, in your education community, you're going to become known by the kids and the parents and the teachers as the gay teacher?
I think I would like to think that my teaching was good enough that I'm known for being a good teacher before I'm known for being a gay teacher. I am by no means a gay rights activist. I would much rather be on here talking to you about Ofsted and the joke that is our exam system. But
we can do that.
Let's do that as well. Yeah. But I think that this has clearly become an issue that people want to talk about, and I'm surprised by that. But it is one, I think.
Lindsay, good to talk to you. Thanks very much for talking to us this morning on Breakfast.